Planetary conjunction. The planets have lined up one by one. Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn have united perfectly in their cosmos. How does this affect the rest of humanity, however? In this engrossing documentary, learn about planetary alignment and how it affects our lives. On February 27, 1953 BC, Mercury, Venus, Mars, and Saturn formed a group with an angular diameter of 26.45 arc-minutes. Jupiter was on the same day only a few degrees away, so on this day, all 5 bright planets could be found in an area measuring only 4.33 degrees. David Pankenier and David Nivison have suggested that this conjunction occurred at the beginning of the Xia dynasty in ChinaWhen. 2 celestial bodies appear close to each other in the sky, known as a planetary conjunction. This event offers a stunning spectacle without binoculars or a telescope, but only for a brief period. In this video, we will go over the history of planetary conjunctions, how they physically work, and some myths from the Middle Ages. Watch this video to learn more about the valuable planet. Before we move on, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to this channel for more content. I like it. To get alerts for new videos, click the bell symbol. Did you already carry it out? Let us move forward. When 2 celestial objects such as asteroids, moons, planets, and stars appear close to one another in the sky as seen from Earth, it's known as a conjunction in astronomy. Like how we use latitude and longitude on Earth, astronomy uses many coordinate systems to specify where an object appears in the sky. The first, the right ascension and declination celestial coordinate system, is synchronized with the tilt of the Earth and fixated to a few reference points in the sky. Instead, another system known as the ecliptic coordinate system, which is expressed in ecliptic latitude and longitude, is locked to the orientation of our solar system inside our galaxy. 2 objects are said to be in conjunction with one another if they share the same ecliptic longitude or right ascension. What does a planet conjunct mean? Our solar system's planets revolve around the Sun in elliptical orbits that are slightly tilted about one another. Other planets appear to flit about in the sky as seen from Earth. The planets were first referred to as wandering stars by early astronomers because of how swiftly they moved in the night sky compared to the fixed stars. We are aware that although these wandering stars may look to the inexperienced eye as specks of light, they are planetary bodies in our solar system. Although millions of kilometers apart, planets sometimes appear to occupy the same space in the night sky because of their alignment. In the past, large conjunctions drew much attention as omens. The pre-scientific and transitional astrologers of the period up to Tycho Brahe and Johannes Kepler, by scholastic thinkers like Roger Bacon and Pierre Dailly, and in popular and literary works by authors like Dante, Lope de Vega, and Shakespeare all discussed them during the late Middle Ages and Renaissance. This interest can be traced back to European translations of Arabic texts. The conviction and the significance of such events led to a flood of publications that developed steadily until the end of the 16th century. Despite mathematical mistakes and some debate among astrologers over when trigons originated, a papal decree prohibiting divination was published in 1586, but as nothing noteworthy occurred by the feared event of 1603. Public interest quickly waned. The Grand Conjunction of 1583, last in the water trigon, was generally believed to portend apocalyptic developments. By the beginning of the following trigon, astrology had long been debunked by modern science, and planetary alignments were no longer regarded as bad omens. Why were they seen as harbingers of the apocalypse in medieval times? In medieval times, conjunctions were extremely important. The ancient Europeans interpreted such planetary alignments as prophecies of impending disasters like famines, earthquakes, and floods, as well as the birth of Christ and the ultimate demise of civilization. Saturn-Jupiter conjunctions were frequently mentioned in apocalyptic prophecies throughout Middle Ages and Renaissance Europe, according to scholar Laura Ackerman-Smaller. In order to make these forecasts come true, historical events were occasionally even fudged. In the later Middle Ages and the Renaissance, Saturn-Jupiter conjunctions became a fundamental component of astrological forecasts, partly because it required relatively little astronomical knowledge to add groups of 20 years to a known root conjunction. One of these conjunctions from 1484 is among the most well-known. Martin Luther, a key character in the Reformation, whose birthdate was altered to coincide with the conjunction year, was claimed to have had this career foretold after the fact. Another illustration is the alleged conjunction that foretold both the flood and Noah's Ark. Although Pierre Dailly had initially hypothesized that the greatest conjunction of Saturn and Jupiter had occurred 2 years before the flood, he later had to concede that the majority of the astrologers had put the conjunction at an inconvenient 279 years prior. Fortunately, his revised chronology enabled him to identify another greatest conjunction, exactly 5 years and 320 days prior to the Nativity and the purported birth of Christ. Alternatively, astrologers could always rely on this helpful rule of thumb. The conjunction's effects would manifest more slowly the less frequently it occurred. In essence, this meant that it would take 960 years for the repercussions of a biggest conjunction to manifest. According, Daly believed that a conjunction in 36 BCE would signify the birth of Muhammad more than 5 centuries later. It only required a little historical latitude and date manipulation. According to University of Rochester historian Laura Ackerman Smaller, apocalypse prophecies frequently included Jupiter and Saturn's conjunctions. The ancient Europeans interpreted such planetary alignments as prophecies of impending disasters like famines, earthquakes, and floods, as well as the birth of Christ and the ultimate demise of civilization. Predictions regarding specific people were, of course, more difficult to make than broad general predictions. Because of this, Saturn-Jupiter conjunctions were commonly added to apocalyptic prophecies during the Middle Ages and Renaissance. According to historian Laura Ackerman Smaller, professor of history and department chair at the University of Rochester. Smaller studies the interaction of magic, science, and religion in medieval and Renaissance Europe, focusing on the two themes of astrology and apocalyptic prophecy, as well as saints and miracles. Smaller is the author of History, Prophecy, and the Stars, The Christian Astrology of Pierre Dailly, 1350 to 1420, Princeton University Press, 1994. Her second book, The Saint and the Chopped Up Baby, The Cult of Vincent Ferrer in Medieval and Early Modern Europe, was published in 2014 by Cornell University Press. It explores the cult and canonization of the Valencian friar Vincent Ferrer, an ardent apocalyptic preacher who passed away in 1419 and was declared a saint in 1455. Smaller has, in a sense, returned to the stars for her most recent endeavor, tracing the connections between astrology and prophecy for her third book, provisionally titled Astrology and the Sibyls, an exploration of precognitive practices that date from roughly 1100 to roughly 1600. The most recent and following planetary conjunctions. The most recent Great Conjunction occurred on December 21, 2020, while the following will not happen until November 4, 2040. The two planets were 6 arc-minutes apart in the sky at their closest during the 2020 Grand Conjunction, which was the closest separation between them since 1623. The rarest planetary conjunctions. The 3 planets, Mercury, Mars, and Venus, account for most of these observable overlaps, either with each other or their more distant solar system siblings. Planetary conjunctions take quite frequently. When Jupiter catches Saturn on its orbital path, the rarest of all conjunctions occurs. Once every 20 years, there are these great conjunctions, but not all are favorable to people on Earth. The planets can occasionally be close enough to form a single point of light, but not always. In some cases, most of the conjunction happens during the day or is not visible everywhere. Before 2020, the last time Jupiter and Saturn were less than 1/10 of a degree apart in the sky and generally visible at night was on March 4, 1226. It has been 400 years since the planets last appeared this near to one another. A rare planetary conjunction that can be seen with the unaided eye featured 5 of the largest planets in our solar system lined up in a row. Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn shine in a clear sky before dawn. It's a unique chance to glimpse Mercury, typically hidden by the sun's dazzling light. The conjunction will be visible for most of the planet until Monday, with Friday morning being its brightest time. This conjunction last occurred in 2004 and will not occur again until 2040. According to Professor Lucy Green, chief stargazer for the Society for Popular Astronomy and a space scientist, the planets appear like a necklace of pearls stretching out from close to the horizon. The planets appear in the sequence they are positioned from the Sun, which makes it a unique phenomenon. Considering the solar system from Earth, Professor Green claims that this is only sometimes the case for planetary conjunctions. A crescent moon appeared between Venus and Mars on Friday, adding to the lineup. The video for today has come to an end. If you liked this video, subscribe to the channel and give it a thumbs up. Remember to click the bell symbol to receive notifications when new videos are posted. Bye for now, and I will see you in the next video.